Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming pretty soon to the close of our program. We have two more speakers following me, then we'll be done, so please hang in. I'd like to deliver a short speech, and it is about where we are at and where we are going, and it's a personal perspective. As you know, what the United States government has done, at least for my family, is it has ruined us economically. I have a few investments in real estate. My houses are worth nothing. And it's because government a long time ago got involved in what was called the Community Reinvestment Act. They wanted to make it possible for people who could not buy a house to buy a house. And it started years ago, and it started rolling, and by the time they were done, we have all been ruined. They have bankrupted the country, but they have not stopped there. Having ruined the country financially, they now are proposing that people who cannot afford health care, doesn't that sound like people who cannot afford a house, should be able to get health care in order to do so? They have to lump us all into a program that they in Congress have crafted together. And of course, when we look at it, what aspects of it are available to us, it's going to be a disaster. It is going to be a complete and utter disaster. When it comes to the judicial branch and the law and all of that, I'm sure many of you are aware of the whole thing that's happening up in Northern California because of the little smeltfish. There are acres and acres up there that men and women work that are now death bowls. This is what the judicial branch has done. What I'm trying to tell you is you have absolutely no representation, none at all. Government would talk to you about your First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, but they don't want you to have those either. They're working very hard to remove all of that from you. Men and women are afraid to speak their minds because they will wind up in court or they will wind up in prison. You can't own a gun unless you go through a whole bunch of baloney, and they're trying to make it so you cannot have a gun, but they cannot protect you. In fact, the #1 terrorist in the United States, the #1 terrorist organization, United States government. They allow all illegal aliens to come over regardless of what the impact is on you, and they play this nasty game that they're enforcing law, and they're not. They can't even fool you anymore. There are terrorists that come over the border, and they're setting up shop everywhere, including mosques, that the FBI says 95% are controlled by terrorists. Even George Bush, when he was running, said that there's a nuke in our future, and I think that you can expect it. Someday you're going to get nuked. That's how far down the totem pole we have come. Now let me tell you something, where this is going. There's a lot of anger out there. I keep hearing it from different folks. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm so mad at this. I'm so mad at that. But you have absolutely no representation. It has become a sin to be Caucasian, to be white. There is not a white or Caucasian voice out there anymore. And I am for equality and giving everybody an opportunity. You give everybody an opportunity to do something. They make it fine. If they don't make it, okay, that's fine too. That's on them. Let them try something else. As government begins to squeeze everybody and begins to take away your First Amendment rights, as it begins to take away your Second Amendment rights, and they begin to pounce on you using policemen and using federal troops and whatever it is that they feel that they're going to do because they intend to run almost every aspect of your life, there are men and women who will not stand for it. I know that all of us here are peaceable human beings. We do not want conflict. We do not want to fight anybody. We don't want to do any harm. But you take the percentages of people in this country, and there are men and women who will fight, who will not take it. Now let me give you a scenario. Let's say, for example, a new law is introduced, something having to do with the taking of guns, or perhaps something to do with your First Amendment rights, or let's say that they're completely wiping you out through excessive taxes, and that does seem to be coming around the corner. And somebody gets arrested for having a rifle or something, and it's either local law enforcement or some other agency or something, and they come to somebody's home in the dead of the night, and they take the wife or they take the husband and they incarcerate them. And pissed off people decide it's not going to happen, and they go, men and women band together, and they go and they take the wife of the agent that incarcerated their wife. Why not? That's fair, isn't it? Yeah. Is he really a good policeman or a good law enforcement agent if he's not working for crooks and thugs and doing dirty and nasty things? That's the way things evolve. And that is the path that we are going on. Nobody's going to take my wife away from me. Nobody's going to do that. If she has not done any wrong, nobody's going to take her away from me. I will fight at the doorstep if I have to, and I'm not kidding. I will do that, okay? When it comes to all these punks that we have in government, what we have are elected criminals. They have jumped from representing the people and have become absolute totalitarian criminals. And they are not to be suffered. I don't care where the hell Barack Obama came from. He's not going to take over my house, my family, my country, give it away to anybody because he's got some brain-dead idea because all he ever was a community organizer. George Bush was nothing more than a spoiled rich brat, had no allegiance to this country. What the two parties did prove by bringing in the people that they did as President of the United States, it was that you can have a very stupid white man who has no allegiance to the United States as President of the United States, and the Democrat Party proved that they can equal them by having a very stupid black man who also has no allegiance to this country. And that is about the way that it's running. There is one path that the United States government is putting the people of the United States on, a very dangerous path. And that path, ladies and gentlemen, is civil war. It was written by somebody that today we vote at the ballot box, tomorrow we go to the ammo box. Let's pray that that doesn't happen. Thank you.